Well, the onset of fall weather, certainly a welcome occurrence for folks in Silicon Valley, and we've got football on a gorgeous day here in Santa Clara as we are situated at Levi's Stadium. Versus 0-3. Will current form hold? We'll find out as we're off in week 4. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. Here's the Pro Bowler, Christian McCaffrey. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Young working out of the gun. He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. 4 yards the pickup, first down. The Niners hit 3-0 here in the month of September. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. McCaffrey running up the middle to about the 33-yard line. When you talk about this Seahawk defense, they're currently 6th in the NFL in defending the run.
They've established themselves as a top 10 run-stopping unit in the NFL here in the early going. All signs point to me towards them continuing that throughout the season. They look pretty good, pretty darn cohesive to me.
Here's a 2nd and 8. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down.
Let's go now.
Now Young. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Young to throw on 4th. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. So after the big play on 4th, here's 1st and 10. They'll send the tight end in motion. Young. Buying time to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Young's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. To throw, Young. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13. Oh, boy, Christian McCaffrey shaken up. So hold everything here as they're going to take a look at it.
Let's go.
Looking to throw, Young. And he will find his man on the outside. And the 49ers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. Sliding out of the pocket. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. A little risky there when you roll out of that pocket right like he did. You complete the pass, but you don't get anything out of it.
But how many times have we seen when a quarterback exits out of the pocket, doesn't matter whether they go left or right, the defense loses its leverage, right? There's a little chaos. But
and across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Bryce Young, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the 49ers get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Jake Moody now for the point after. He hasn't missed an extra point all season, and he won't miss this one either, and it's 7-0. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. First carry here for Kenneth Walker III. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. He'll drop to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The intended target there was Gabriel Davis. But now it's 3rd down. You look at this Niner defense. They were terrific last week in the win over the Rams.
Yeah, they pitched a shutout in that game, didn't they? And those don't come around all that often in the NFL. The ability to keep someone out of the end zone and also from kicking one through the post. Well done.
This is caught by McMillan. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 15 yards there for number 15.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
They'll look to throw again. Flush to his right. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing the throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the 1st down. And don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Here is 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Oh, a big decision here early. Look at this. They're going to go for it on their own side of the field. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Rondale Moore. His first touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. That certainly went against the traditional ways of playing football, but who cares? Look at the result. Big touchdown.
They went for it on their own side of the 50. So there's conservative, there's aggressive, and there's really aggressive, which is what we just saw there. Tip of the cap to them.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 2 yards to go, 2nd down. Young off the bootleg, rolling to his left. Throw left side, McCaffrey's got it. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 36.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down. Young. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
From the shotgun to McCaffrey. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
And he's going to be taken down right at the line. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Well, I could spin this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage. But when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
A 24-yard attempt.
And his kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
On the return, Rondale Moore will bring it out. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it looks like the defense has got it. And they take over already 5 yards deep into the red zone at the 15-yard line. Here's Young. Looking for the out route, and he's got it. It's complete to McCaffrey. That catch good for only a couple.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. What I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down. Throwing, Young. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And across the chalk, into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. George Kittle from 13 yards out as his guys are able to extend their lead.
On that third down call, the goal was to get the ball to their tight end and pick up a first down, but he wasn't satisfied with just that. They got the first down. That was the gravy. He decided to take in the whole meal and rumbled in for a touchdown.
Moody good with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. Scott on the return out of the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Got it complete to Khalil Shakir. And they'll get to him right away at the 40. The rookie from Oklahoma putting that one on target. And that'll earn his guys a first down. They'll look to throw here on first down. That complete. It's Tyler Scott with it. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
My goodness, they've come out locked in on this drive. Play calling, execution, they are fully in sync. 3 straight passes, 3 first downs. They're moving the ball downfield almost at will. This defense really struggling to find answers.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Again, he'll drop to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back into 32. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Myers' kick is good, and they're back within a touchdown. It's 17-10. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue, because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And with a 7-point lead, they'll likely look to take this to the locker room and not really press the issue. Now here's Young. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. 1 touchdown is the difference. 17-10 our score, and we are back underway on EA Sports. Scott on the return out of the end zone. And he probably wishes he would have sat on that one. Instead, he's only able to get this up beyond the 15-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And Charles, some things to like about that first half. Ultimately trailing here, but certainly this deficit is manageable. So curious to see what adjustments they may have made at intermission.
As am I, because I think things bode well for a possible comeback, because I thought a lot of their best reps in the first half came through the passing game. They were hitting the open receivers, taking whatever the coverage gave them and making it work well for themselves. Now, they just want to pick up the pace of scoring a little bit. So I expect them to come back and continue to throw the ball effectively. Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw here. Throw left side is complete on the diving effort. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a 3rd here, and it's good for a 1st.
I know that rookie quarterbacks have to earn veteran receivers' trust. Maybe we saw that on that play with that type of effort, huh?
Yeah, helping out the rook with a heck of a catch. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Defense really kept him in check running the football in the first half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half 2.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs, and have that relentless. Keep going, knowing that you may pop one, as he just did there.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st. Straight ahead, Walker. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. Moore, the man in motion. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Seahawks will take over here at their own 12-yard line. Yeah, you only get a 1-yard buffer there from the line of scrimmage, and he got downfield a little too far, and the flag came out. Looking left side, that's caught by Moore. They'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark it down at the 9. It's a 14-yard pickup, but it'll still be 2nd down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Up the middle, here's Walker. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And the Seahawks are going to have it 1st and goal as he'll take this down to about the 3.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Gore will take this into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown.
And maybe that's the magic touch right there. They didn't use him at all in the first half, at least running the football. But here they entrust him with some work down in the red zone, and he responds. 1 carry, 1 touchdown.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that will level the playing field at 17 all. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards, the final tally. From the shotgun, it's Young.
He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the third.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense. I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Mike Evans, 41 yards. And the 49ers have moved out in front.
Moody good with the extra point.
And they will take a 7-point lead.
Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Throw left side complete. That's Moore. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. So both teams trade touchdowns in the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Second and 11. Hand off here to Walker.
And he's got some space here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. On the give, it's Walker. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
The Seahawks on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw.
A throw off his back foot there. That's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis.
Picked up by Diamador Lenore.
And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. Ball at the 8 here for 2nd and a yard, maybe a touch less. Now a give, right side McCaffrey. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Here we go, set. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Christian McCaffrey, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the 49ers are going to be moving to 4-0 as they extend their lead. Moody good with the extra point.
And the lead now up to 14.
Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting 1st downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Back to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Back to throw again. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Davis. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field.
Back to throw now on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
When you run into slant, timing is everything. And against that man coverage, there was no space available. An incompletion as a result.
Second and 10.
They'll look to throw again.
That's complete to Davis.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore.
You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a second and 4.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw.
Shakir hauls it in.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown.
Kenneth Walker taking it in from a yard out. And the Seahawks have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a 1-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So a 7-point game. They'll need a recovery, the touchdown, and an extra point to tie. And the 49er hands team does its job.
And he takes a shot at the end of that play.
The risk reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them. And field position leads you to that type of play calling. And whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Now Young. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock. And this is second and less than a yard. Young will set to throw. Rolling to his right.
Well, he didn't get much, but he didn't need much. He got just enough on that play. The pressure came, but they allowed him to escape, and he got to the sideline and got out of bounds, picking up a first down.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this third down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the first down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
For the 49ers field goal, a 39-yard attempt.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
This is 1st and 10.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
That was one they needed to connect on. They're down, but not quite out. So you have to figure, with under 2 minutes to play, they need to hit on something in very short order.
They'll roll him out right.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the first down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Well, the faithful in full roar here in Santa Clara. This is 3rd down.
Now back to throw.
Gets this to Moore.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a first down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
Where will the pressure come from? 4th and 6 now.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
2 timeouts remaining, but time is of the essence. Down 2 scores. It's 1st and 10. That is caught by Shakir.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game.
Here's 1st and 10.
They'll drop to throw.
That is incomplete.
Ooh, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
That'll be caught. It's Scott.
Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Throw out wide to Walker.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
And this is caught, so it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however. Problem for them, they needed that score with a little more time left on the clock. I think just too little, too late now.
I would agree with that, and we're programmed never to say never. But in this case, we're asking a lot for them to even think they have a chance.
So this likely just to get the final score a bit closer given the time remaining, but they'll have a go for 2 here. They'll look to throw. That's caught at the 2. And he will find the end zone again. So he gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And that'll cut this deficit down a little bit further. So now with little time remaining, they'll have this and maybe one more play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
So the victory here for San Francisco. And we talked so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Error-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover.